Hey, y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
This is our midweek episode, a day late.
Yeah, that's all right.
Popping it out on a Thursday.
Well, that's what happens
You
sometimes.
get a little busy, you can't help it.
Yeah, Heather has like 50 things to do.
What's going on in your world, Dylan?
The same old shit. Being treated horribly at work by my bosses.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lie.
That's
I can
true.
never imagine company men, corporate overlords being mean to you.
You know, it's strange. Right quick, I'll say it's weird because they treat you like crap and you ignore safety issues and all these things and don't let you do your job, micromanage you, which causes problems because they don't understand the process or the job, the ins and outs of it. And then when the rubber meets the road, they expect you to be a big team player, and you're just like, fuck you, dude.
It's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, here we are.
Well, Dylan, with the state of the world that we're living in, Japan has something our listeners might be interested in.
Oh, what's that? Is it one of those underwear vending machines?
No, Dylan, it's not.
Okay.
It is a Japanese company that is selling metallic shelters that can be installed in apartments and small houses for protection against natural disasters and even radiation and missile strikes.
Oh, wow.
You've probably heard of millionaires and doomsday preppers building their own luxury underground bunkers or, just trying to colonize Mars.
Yeah, because that totally seems easy.
Elysium style. But this Japanese company claims you can ride out the nuclear apocalypse from the comfort of your own home with one of their indoor shelters.
So this is, I can just scoop this up at Walmart now, basically.
WNI Shelter. They specialize in these compact shelters designed to resist anything from natural disasters like an earthquake, floods, that kind of thing, to missile strikes and radiation, and they come with their own air filtration system and come in a variety of sizes to accommodate anywhere from like 1 to 7 people.
Okay, I'm not so sure I want to survive the missile strikes.
You don't know for sure?
No, I mean, do
but
you?
But you're thinking about it?
Well, I mean, I'm saying, radiation doesn't just go away, right? And it can literally last like 500 years or more. So, I mean, what do you...
You have to look at me in my good third eye. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you come out looking like the toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was handsome, right?
Well, I mean, given the disaster of Hurricane Katrina that went downhill very quickly for that area, I just don't think you'd be a really good world left after the missile strike.
I am not cut out for a nuclear fallout shelter. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, so I shouldn't get one of these for me and you?
A bunker, an underground shelter. I'm not going to be okay in a small, confined space for a prolonged period of time.
So
it's not going to work for me. Now, am I built for a post-apocalyptic world? Yes, if I can be Tank Girl.
Well, I was going to say, at the very least, you would enjoy the fashion before you gave in to your anxiety, right?
Right. I mean, if I can be Tank Girl or Mad Max, I've got a tank and a guy with a guitar playing on top of my tank.
Nice.
While I'm robbing people and shit. That's cool, right? But I don't want to live in a teeny tiny shelter. That would freak me out.
Yeah.
Too claustrophobic.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that would work for me either. You quickly, the paranoia sets in. You start thinking maybe the people in the shelter with you are out to get you or kill you, so the resources go further. So, yeah, I just don't want to go through all that.
You don't?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that in some areas where you have really severe weather, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, that maybe the shelter would help some people out. But, yeah, it's the nuclear death war that I'm not sure I want to survive.
Right. And, there's a lot of talk, of course, maybe jokingly, I'm not sure, floating around social media. Oh, we're entering into World War III. Oh, we're going to get nuked.
Right.
So I thought I'd mention the shelter in case you're one of those paranoid people who thinks Red Dawn is coming.
Now, what do you think about back into the day, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the most intense part of the Cold War? Them just being like, "Hey, get under your desk and cover your head with your hands," and doing all these drills and constantly talking about it. When I'm not sure that's going to help you if you're anywhere near.
It's not going to help you at all. And if
Right.
anything, it was just a feel good moment
Yeah.
for like parents and like, oh, we've got a plan in place, right? It's
Yeah.
just feel good propaganda to make the everyman and the every child feel a little bit safer. But if we get, if we have a nuclear weapon strike,
nuclear.
nuclear,
It's nuclear.
I say I'm country and I say it the way I say
I'm
it.
gonna say it like George Bush for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Nuclear.
So if we have a strike, yeah, just stay in your fucking house. But the likelihood that like hiding under a table is going to save you, no. It's like the same as if you have a demon under your bed, but you cover your foot up with a blanket,
Mm-hmm.
right? The demon can't get you if your foot's cut. No,
Well, I
the
think
demon's still going to get you.
I think that could possibly be more effective than covering your head and getting under your desk when there's nuclear fallout, or I mean, if you're anywhere near where the initial blast is, I mean, come on, you don't have a chance.
I mean, did we not learn a lesson from the 1980s film War Games with Matthew? What's his face?
McConaughey.
Ferris Bueller.
I mean,
Broderick.
Matthew Broderick, the one
Had
who
to come
killed
to
the
me.
people in the car wreck.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I learned very early on from that movie that you should not try to befriend a computer entity that you don't understand. Okay.
So you are speaking out against AI.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be friends with the AI.
well, you can be, but what is your AI developed for? You know what I mean? Is it an AI that gets to know you so you can help you pick out better shoes for your feet? Sure, that AI may be your friend, but isn't it an AI that controls all the military hardware and equipment worldwide and can start a war and destroy us all? Might not be your friend.
Oh my God, robot killers.
My God.
Yeah, the Russians and their little nuclear weapons are not going to be our downfall. Technology will be our downfall. It will be that scenario, Dylan, of like artificial intelligence.
Propaganda
wreaking havoc.
is going to be our downfall.
Stupidity. Let's be honest. Stupidity is our fucking downfall right now, Dylan.
Oh my God.
Okay, so yeah, you can get your little shelter if you want. We have a bit of true crime news here. A lot of folks out there, especially in the true crime community, are familiar with the Shari Papini case.
Yes.
Right? So she is a California woman who made statements to law enforcement that she was abducted while on a jog in rural Redding, California. And so she has actually now been arrested and charged with making false statements. The Shasta County Sheriff's Office, they have arrested 34-year-old mother of two. She said this was back in 2016 that she, disappeared while running, claimed she was abducted. It was really high profile from the start. Her neighbors in Redding, they all banded together. They did these exhaustive searches for this missing mom. They formed a tight-knit circle of support around her husband, Keith, and the children. They raised more than $49,000 via a GoFundMe account for the family. It was covered around the globe.
Yeah, it was. I remember when she went missing, actually, and it was a full-on mobilization of all resources and volunteers in that area, and they were just searching everywhere for her.
Well, she reappeared just as quickly as she vanished, about 150 miles south of Redding. 22 days later, she was wandering around a highway around 4 a.m., emaciated, covered in bruises. She had burns and rashes. She had a chain around her waist and clamps around her wrists.
Ooh.
Her hair, which was long and blonde, had been chopped off, and she had been branded on her right shoulder.
So she turns back up. They find her in this state, and I guess they're like, oh my God.
Right, so she tells authorities, I've been abducted at gunpoint. I was held captive by these two armed and masked Hispanic women, probably one woman was like in her 20s or 30s, the other woman in her 40s or 50s who spoke Spanish most of the time. So she had a few specific details. She described the older woman as being like really mean with coffee breath and
Oh no.
yeah, so
Not coffee
oh
breath.
yeah. Well, it wasn't until 2017 that investigators found a piece of evidence that would lead them to the conclusion that this crazy bitch done did this to herself. She ran away. She done gone girled herself, Dylan.
So where was she at while she was runned off?
Dude, she was hooked up with an old boyfriend.
Oh my God. That's the best part of the story because I mean it's not good and it's really messed up. But like just that's a very untraditional I'm going to go hook up with an ex-boyfriend way to go.
Well, they released the U.S. District Court released a 53-page document with all this information, including that they found male DNA on the sweatpants and underwear that Papini was wearing the day she was found, which was Thanksgiving Day of 2016. And the DNA did not belong to any female. It was male DNA. Oh, and guess what? Didn't belong to her husband.
Yes, and she'd already stated this is where she messed up. Well, for one, she threw in the racial card because, I guess she thought that would make it seem more real. But she went with women, right? She picked 2 women as her abductor, which is different. At least it wasn't the shaggy-haired man, description.
It's the one-armed man.
And then there's semen in her underwear that is not her husband. So they're like, well, wait a minute, you didn't say anything about, some man raping you or anything like that. So where did this semen come from?
Well, it wasn't until 2019 that some folks with the FBI and this local sheriff's department used Familial Dna Search, which we know is being used more and more nowadays, a technique that searches offender DNA databanks looking for this unknown perpetrator. So they were able to find a potential male relative of this unknown male whose DNA was found, in Papini's clothing, and identified that this person was her ex-boyfriend.
Oh my God. So
3 months later, investigators collected a bottle of Honest Tea, the like green tea. There, it's one of the brands, Honest Tea. It was a green tea from a trash can outside of this ex-boyfriend's apartment. And from there, they were able to conclude that this was actually his DNA for sure.
Yep, the old trash is public property and can be searched through trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You got to be careful of that if you're trying to hide your DNA.
So it's pretty crazy. The former boyfriend has told investigators that Papini asked him to brand her. He bought a wood-burning tool from Hobby Lobby to brand her right shoulder. He was really nervous and wanted to hold steady while doing the brand because the tool was getting so hot that it glowed red. And he told investigators he wasn't sure what Papini's intentions were like during the stay with him, but he believed that they were probably going to end up getting into another romantic relationship again.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had been in this relationship, but it ended in 2006, so 10 years before this incident occurred.
So this was some elaborate plan to just run off from your family, basically.
Yeah, so just before Thanksgiving, she tells him, you know what, I miss my kids, I want to go home. So he drives her back to Northern California on Thanksgiving Day and drops her off on this country road where she is later found with this chain around her waist. So here we are almost 6 years later, and she's been arrested and charged with making false statements to a federal agent and mail fraud. Now, her defense attorney said that she was taken into custody at her children's piano practice, and she has been released on a $120,000 bail. But I'm like, she can run. She seems like a flight risk.
Well, yeah, she's already done it.
Now, she did have to surrender her passport, and they ordered her to participate in a psychiatric program. Sounds like it's much needed.
Yeah, she obviously has some type of issue. I can't tell you what it is, but Just the fact that that you could leave your family like that and them not knowing what happened to you. So that's the worst part of this is people thought she was really abducted. So all the worry and pain for the friends, family, all that was real to those people. And that's just really messed up. I don't know what's wrong with her as far as what would drive her to do something like this. And then on top of that, you have all the resources, municipal resources.
The thing. They had over 800 tips, and they conducted hundreds of interviews during this investigation.
Right.
So that's the other part of this, the wasted resources. And again, here we are, white woman,
well, see,
blonde white woman,
that's
goes
why
missing, tons of media attention, right? And then it turns out to be a fraud.
And that's why it got tons of sort of sensationalized. A mother of two. And unfortunately, you know how it goes. If it's the white blonde woman, it turns into this big, huge story. And we're like, oh, my God. There's no telling how many days in a row reporters like, we're here at the scene and the mother's still not been found. And all these stock footage shots of like ambulances and helicopters and search dogs.
Or just like the outside shot of the home.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even better, just a street corner sign.
That's always a good one.
So that's really messed up. I don't know. I don't know how she really thought that was going to work. And on top of that, she throws in the description, and it's very possible that the Hispanic community could have been scrutinized or in a bad light. It's just not cool. It's not okay.
Okay, so here is my issue, and not to make it into a racial, discussion about race issues, but we often do get on a tangent about that here on the show. But here's my thing, is this kind of thing is exactly what got Emmett Till killed years ago, right? Is you have this fabricated story, and it just so happens to be by these white women against people of color. And you have folks who will literally go out and lynch those people and kill them.
Right.
Or attack people of color thinking, well, this could be the guy.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And it's disgusting.
Well, yeah, didn't Susan Smith claim it was a black man that carjacked her car? And this is in more near the modern day. And the cops were running roughshod around neighborhoods, kicking ass, taking names, looking for this guy. And that they harassed innocent people. And all because she lied and said a black man took her car with her kids in it and rolled it off.
This is very dangerous. I mean, she really could have gotten someone hurt. There's a lot with this story when we want to bring in this race factor. This could have really harmed people in her community.
Yeah, and even if you stoke gross generalizations, even in just regular people, just thinking, oh, yeah, that's how Hispanic people are. I mean, that's fucked up. So it's just really wrong. It's self-centered. She's obviously, I'm going to assume, she suffers from some narcissism, some
maybe a personality disorder,
significant personality disorders.
I mean, I'm no psychiatrist, but
and then have your ex-boyfriend you run off with make him basically brand you with a Hobby Lobby wood tool that says like "Welcome Home" or some shit.
Well, he's a fucking idiot.
And beat her up and stuff.
Did he put "Live, Laugh, Love" on her shoulder?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Well, he's a fucking idiot because I'm telling you, if any of my exes showed up like, hey, I'd be like, psh, you're an ex for a reason, go away. Right? 2, I'm not going to brand your ass. No.
You're not going to make me brand you.
I'm not going to do it.
No. Dude's all shaking and shit with the Hobby Lobby branding tool.
I mean, if you want to get branded, go join a fraternity, girl.
Oh, my God. Earn that brand.
Yeah. Go through, like, Hell Week, pledging a fraternity, and they'll brand you.
Well, and she can't because that's probably likely going to be a historically black college she's rushing at, and they're not going to accept her because she's a racist bitch.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Possibly.
I did know a guy in college who had a brand.
Yeah, was he black?
No, why would you make it? Why would you say it was a black guy?
I've never seen it done at any other capacity besides black fraternities, bro.
Well, white fraternities do it too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
I
I've actually never
apologize.
heard of a black fraternity doing it.
You're a
so
damn liar.
I'm not. I
Okay.
don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
See what this story's done to race relations in this country?
No, but I did know a guy when I was in college, and I will say, kind of dated a little bit.
Oh, my God.
It was nothing serious.
Yeah, it wasn't serious.
He was devastatingly handsome, though.
Yeah, I bet. With his big branded arm.
Yeah. It's not all it was big, I'll tell you that.
Hey.
Oh, ha! You walked right into that one.
Yeah, don't talk
No,
about
but he had a brand, which totally wigged me out. And it was from a fraternity that, of course, he was a brother, but it no longer existed on our campus. It had basically lost its charter.
Nice.
Was a defunct fraternity because, not because of the branding, but because of other hazing that had occurred.
Right.
On the campus.
Like an emergency situation, someone got hurt.
Well, they had they forced a guy to drink until he died.
Oh.
Wow. And that was like couple years maybe before I went. He was a little older than me, and like he had left after that incident and then had come back to school as a, like a guy in his 20s, so some years later. But yeah, it was like a really big deal.
Yeah, that hazing stuff, I don't understand that either, because if I was kicking it with a group of guys or anybody, and they were doing these things that, obviously seem dangerous and physically hurting someone or mentally abusing them with this hazing bullshit, I wouldn't be down for that. Would you be part of that?
Hazing? No.
No, because I always want to like make people stop picking on others, and I feel like that's bullying.
Here's another true crime story out of South Carolina. Clemson, South Carolina, the Oconee County Coroner's Office, and this is a few days old, but we're a little late to the game, so we're going to talk about it anyway, identified the body of a 21-year-old man who went missing from Clemson on February 25th of 2020. His name is Andrew Earnhardt, and they found his body around 10 a.m., on the Oconee County side of Lake Hartwell in a cove near the highway of 76-123 by a bridge and a railroad trestle.
Okay.
Officers did turn the body over to the Oconee County coroner to identify and of course investigate. According to the information they've released so far, they know it's this guy Andrew Earnhardt. They've been working trying to figure out what went on there. But a lot of folks are pointing to the fact that here's another, and of course we don't have any proof of this, but here's another young man found near a body of water. Which, there's kind of, I guess.
Not the smiley face killer.
Well, I mean, there are some folks out there, I've seen it on Twitter, in the true crime community, just speculating.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of bodies of water. You know what I mean? It's not an uncommon place for, if someone has been even murdered, for their body to be found near water. I mean, I guess if that makes sense. But we should totally do an in-depth dive into the smiley face killers.
Maybe we will cover that for a Patreon episode, Dylan.
Yes. It's pretty interesting, some aspects of it.
Now, some others are pointing to the fact this kind of comes after a gentleman named Tucker Hips was found dead about 7 years ago, or maybe it's been 8 years ago now, during a morning pledge run with his fraternity brothers. And he was found there by the Lake Hartwell. They believe it was some kind of pledging, kind of hazing thing. And his parents don't believe that his death was accidental.
Ooh.
So some folks are pointing to the fact that, here we've got this guy supposedly slipped from this guardrail on this highway bridge, hitting his head on the rocks below Lake Hartwell. No fraternity member reported him missing for hours. And his parents have crusaded for years to have fraternity safety, I guess, implemented at these schools.
And this was the body found 8 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
And so some other folks are bringing making kind of a bit of a connection. Now, I don't know if Andrew Earnhardt was a member of a fraternity, but a lot of folks are like, okay, so we have two young men within this short period of time. I mean, 8 years is not, a great length of time here. To have these two young men, both found in the same area, near these bridges, by the lake, and it just seems sus.
Okay, I see. So maybe not so much as, or wait, okay, for my own benefit. Are we saying those or possibly two cases are connected? Or did someone actually say the smiley face killers?
Well, no, one theory, Dylan, is that people are speculating, well, this could be the smiley face killer because we have all of these young men, turning up dead,
Yes.
being found by these bodies of water, right? But then you have this other group of people who are bringing up the Tucker Hips situation and saying, it's very odd that, yes, this was part of this fraternity. We believe a fraternity hazing of some kind. And he was found dead. But you also have this other young man, seemingly same location, Lake Hartwell, by Clemson University, both university students, and just how, that's kind of odd.
Okay.
It's an odd coincidence.
And for those,
and they're probably not connected, but it is an odd coincidence, right?
And for those out there, in a snippet of what is the smiley face killers, if you've never heard of it, is a group of deaths, I believe, around the nation, in all kinds of different areas, right?
Yes.
And it's typically a young man near or in water, and there has been smiley face graffiti found near many of these cases, actually. Not every one, but many. And some people speculate the possibility of
it's a network.
A group and a network, which is why it's all over and it moves back and forth, of killers, basically. Yes. And they got the term smiley face killer because of graffiti found near many of the bodies. If you don't know about it, look it up. It's pretty interesting. You can dig into that. So yeah, that's pretty wild.
Definitely, yeah. And I'm not saying any of these cases are connected. I'm just telling you what the people's saying, Dylan. But it's really sad, and I feel a lot of compassion for Andrew's family. It's got to be really hard to lose a child like this.
So we can speculate and talk about, oh yeah, and kind of be, sometimes I'm sure true crime fans come off as assholes talking about murders and deaths. But at the end of the day, no matter what happened, this family lost their son.
Yeah.
Their brother, their uncle, cousin, whatever. And it's horrible. So, oh my gosh.
Here's another true crime story for you here out of our neck of the woods. Kinda. It's over in Tennessee.
He's got your old pockets full over there, don't you?
This is a fucked up story. So, Brian Beck, age 47, is a former deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee, Shelby County, Tennessee. And he pleaded guilty on February 28th to one count of aggravated assault under an Alford plea, which we all know is where you maintain your innocence, but you acknowledge that there's evidence that could convict you.
Yeah, there's evidence that a jury would likely convict you on, usually.
Right. So he makes this Alford plea because he was indicted back in June of 2018 by a grand jury on 2 counts of rape by force or coercion and 2 counts of sexual battery by an authority figure because he allegedly assaulted a 14, well, I can say he assaulted a 14-year-old because now he's
convicted of
it. Starting around May of 2016 and continued through January of 2018. So here you've got a fucking sheriff's deputy engaging in sexual activity.
What's a consent?
Well, they're saying coercion. I mean, she's underage.
It's statutory, at least.
So, I don't know the details.
No, it's a 14-year-old. It's not right in any way.
But she's a victim. She's a family member. The victim is a family member of this guy. So I'm just going to say he's a rapist. He's a fucking rapist. But get this bullshit, Dylan. He does not have to register as a sex offender as part of this deal. He gets 3 years of 3 years of probation, and he does not have to register as a sex offender.
Who let that slide? I mean, at the very least, we make this man register for at least 10 years, right? To protect other people. What a piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Right?
Yeah, what's his name?
Brian Beck
Brian.
of Germantown, Tennessee.
Brian Beck. He
I'm just
sounds like a
saying, if
dick.
somebody shits on this guy's front porch, I'm not going to feel bad about it.
If you shit on Brian Beck's front porch and happen to take a picture and it somehow finds its way into the mail to one of your favorite podcasts, I don't know what would happen after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't post it anywhere.
No, I would never reveal my sources. As a former journalist, I would never reveal my source of this alleged shit photo. Somebody needs to shit in this guy's face.
Somebody needs to beat the fuck out of this guy.
What a piece of shit. We get really worked up over sexual assaults here, as you know, and especially when it comes to children, crimes against children, women, we get very upset about murders. What really pisses me off is that this guy is a fucking sheriff's deputy. Was. Thank God he's not anymore. But these people like this douchebag are in this position of power, and they should be held to a higher standard.
Yeah, I did find it interesting. There was actually a charge there in connection with him being in an authoritative position, which I think should apply to cops, teachers, bosses, preachers, youth pastors, whatever. But so here's the thing. What stops him from going to the other side of the country and being a cop still? So he should have been blackballed across the board as a cop. You abuse that power. You're never allowed to do it again. And let's be honest, he should have went to jail.
Yeah, this motherfucker should be serving like some years.
Because
like some decades.
I've seen cases where I thought the person was innocent and then they end up doing the Alford plea just because some really bad looking circumstantial evidence or the prosecution really thinks they're did it. And that's what me and you was talking about last night. It's not hard to get convicted of something you didn't and you're innocent in this country. All they have to do in our great wonderful justice system is convince 12 people that you're guilty. And
let's be honest, some of those people are mouth breathers. So you are going to let 12 mouth breathers decide the fate of a human life.
How many people have been convicted just because they say either they're into porn or they did drugs or something that casts a bad light on the defendant?
You just killed sex workers? Oh, no big deal. Here's a little slap on the wrist.
Oh, yeah. So this guy gets probation. No jail time.
3 years of probation.
Doesn't have to register. So what's his consequences for having done? I'm sorry. I'm erring on the side that he did it because I don't, fuck him. I might be wrong. I mean, what's the evidence? Honestly, I'd love to see the discovery in this case. To be like, well, I didn't do it, but my semen was in her underwear. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, was it? Oh, my God. Brian Beck. Somebody shit on this guy.
If somebody shits on this guy, you shit on his front porch. Maybe you hold him down and you just shit in his face. But then again, he's a freak. He might like that. Not to kink shame people who like that, I guess. But, well, I am gonna because that's fucking weird and gross to me.
Cleveland Steamer.
I'm just saying, if that happened to this guy, I would not feel bad. I would have no compassion.
No, we don't. We cannot advocate violence from a legal standpoint. But, it's just shitting on him. That's what he deserves. You know why?
Shit mouth motherfucker.
Because he's a shit bird.
He's a shit bird who needs a shit mouth.
You stink mouth son of a bitch.
Exactly, you shit mouth son of a bitch. You'll register on my registry. You shitbird registry. And that's what we need. We need a shitbird registry, Dylan.
Okay.
Right? I'll start an Excel spreadsheet and we'll start a shitbird registry.
Our listeners can register shitbirds. Local shitbirds on the registry.
Yeah.
We don't need a court to say you're registered. Yeah, you're a shitbird, dude.
You can make the Mountain Murders Shitbird Registry.
Oh, my God. We're going to put this together.
What we need to do, okay, so I have an idea that could go along with our Shitbird Registry. You know how we ask for listener stories and we get some really good stories?
Oh, yeah.
We need your shitbird stories.
Oh, my God.
We should have an episode that is entirely dedicated to the biggest shitbird you've ever met, right? Could be your ex, maybe it was your first grade teacher, your uncle, your best friend who fucked your husband, whatever, right? You got a story about somebody who's a real piece of shit. you should send us the story, and we could do
Please.
a whole episode of Mountain Murders, the Shitbird Registry. Here are the stories. Do these people belong on the Shitbird Registry?
And that's going to be the name of the episodes, and we're going to do one every time we get enough stories.
Oh my gosh, that's what we should do. So if you've got a Shitbird story, email us, mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com. I would love to cover a Shitbird story.
That was a lot of shits in one episode.
It's true. Well, we do say fuck a lot.
Well, it's true.
And now apparently we say shit a lot.
Okay, well that
shit, shitty, shit,
we're counting
shitty,
on
shitty, shit.
Oh my God,
What's wrong with me?
we're counting on our listeners for your help in that, because that could be a lot of fun. I feel like we're like brushing up against the gray area, maybe, like, you know, of legalities. So we'll move on from there. And yeah, so wow, that was some good stories, Heather.
Well, you know, just trying to keep you updated.
Little midweek. Sorry we were a day late. Heather's just out there in the world, just a little squirrel trying to get a nut, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but we will be back this weekend with an episode of Mountain Murders.
Oh, I like this episode. This case we're going to cover, Dylan. I think it's very interesting. I think folks will dig it.
Okay, and don't forget, even though we are a day late, we will be dropping an episode of Batshit Crazy tomorrow, which is typically should be a Thursday, and tune in if you like conspiracy theories.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and TikTok. We are trying to get some followers on those social media platforms, so we would appreciate your help with that. We'll see you on Sunday, right, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm thinking about making a big boy banger video.
You should.
Yeah.
Will you wear my bikini?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Dylan.
Bye.